What's good? Welcome back to another video. I'm just gonna hop right back into it because I'm recording this as I sat down to record this. Some news broke about Mickey Callaway and it's disgusting. So Mickey Callaway was accused of lewd behavior by at least 5 reporters. As of right now, this news was broke by The Athletic. It was Brittany Giroli and Katie Strang of The Athletic, so I'm so sorry if I butchered your names. But yeah, so this follows the Jared Porter story, and he sent photos to at least a couple of them. He asked one of them for new photos. He was like, oh, I'll get drunk with you and exchange information for the Mets. And it's disgusting. First of all, there should be no place for that in the sport anyways. And second of all, the Angels need to scrap this guy because obviously it's disgusting. You can't have this behavior in the sport. There's no place for it. And the power complex between someone like Mickey Callaway and a female reporter, because they need to go to them for information, it's kind of sick. You can't abuse that, and there should be no place for abusing that in the sport. It's so toxic. It shouldn't have to be like this. He's a trash human being. Angels need to get rid of him. I don't know. And then obviously we need to look into the other organizations that hired this guy, because who knows what was going on within there. Why did they hire him? Why did they bypass look this? I'm sure someone must have said something. So pressure on those organizations as well too to respond to it. And in the future, I think organizations just need to do more internal investigations about this, because this obviously Jared Porter, now this, there's obviously a lot more of it about it. There's obviously a lot more of it going on in other organizations that hasn't been investigated or is currently under investigation but not published, but people in baseball should really get on that. I think it's just a big issue. And Mickey Callaway is also trash because he put out a statement denying it. I didn't really read it, but he was like, oh, I want time to explain myself, blah, blah, blah. No. You're trash. You're trash. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Mickey Callaway. The Angels need to get rid of him. I'm just going to talk about more Angels things because the Angels did more things today. They made a trade with the Orioles involving Alex Cobb and Jahmai Jones. Jahmai Jones was a prospect for the Angels. He's a second base prospect. He's young. He's a decent hitter. I don't know much about him. I'm not going to front. But look for him to be a part of the core in Baltimore. And you're like, oh, how are the Angels doing this? With what money? Well, the Orioles are eating half of the salary of Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb got himself a bag. And he hasn't really lived up to that. Last season was kind of disappointing. He's not like a big strikeout guy. He just hits in the ground balls, which is really good considering they picked up Jose Iglesias. And then they also have Anthony Rendon and David Fletcher. So it's just like good infield defense. Maybe he'll have a bounce back year. He was playing in Baltimore. So that field's not helping him at all. But I think what I really want to get at is just kind of the Angels are trying for Mike Trout. They really are. They're putting in their best effort. And I appreciate that. But how much better does Alex Cobb make the Angels rotation, which is already the least bit shaky. It's Patrick Sandoval, Griffin Canning, Alex Cobb now. Dylan Bundy had a really good year last year, so you're hoping he can do that again. But I don't know. That rotation is just very unsettling to me. I don't know much about the bullpen, so I'm not going to say on that, but it's just how many more games do you win with Alex Cobb? How many more playoffs games do you actually get with Alex Cobb? And it's kind of just frustrating to see the best player in the sport not in the playoffs. So I appreciate the Angels making the push, but it's just I feel like they can do so much more that will elevate the team. And I really don't want to talk about the Orioles outside of Jahmai Jones. I mean, you're eating salary, but you're asking players to take salary cuts at minimum so you can stay under payroll, you poverty franchise. Pay your players, especially Trey Mancini. It's disrespectful. All right, I'm off the Angels. Dustin Pedroia retired today officially. Dustin Pedroia, Red Sox second baseman, world champion, MVP, All-Star, Gold Glove, My Short King. He retired. Does Dustin Pedroia make the Hall of Fame? I don't know. There's players, he's better than players in the Hall of Fame. That's my argument. But I don't know how Hall of Fame voters are going to feel about him in 4 years, considering that his career got cut short because of injuries. In 2017, that left knee, and he never really came back, which really sucks because, you just want to see him step on the field one last time. And I think he was really just the embodiment of Boston. This dude's really gritty. He's so competitive. Really just kind of shifted the culture. Brought the team to a World Series. His rookie year, he really helped with that. One MVP his second year, which is really impressive when you kind of just put into perspective, second year up in the league and you're already get bestowed like the highest honor. And I think he's one of like those Red Sox titan. He's definitely the best Red Sox second baseman, I think. And it's his career is just kind of, I just wrote it down, but it's just like, it's a very similar kind of like David Wright almost. Guy in his prime cut short by injuries. David Wright got to step on the field one last time, but like, you wish Dustin was able to. But their career numbers are pretty similar. It was just kind of something I thought of off the cusp, like just kind of looking at Dustin Pedroia's numbers writing up this video. But yeah, obviously best wishes to Dustin Pedroia post-retirement, man. I think the last bit of player news I have to talk about was Delino DeShields to the Texas Rangers on a minor league deal. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning. So for context, Delino DeShields was traded for Corey Kluber and Emmanuel Claus. Emmanuel Claus got slapped with the PED suspension, and Delino DeShields is back on the Rangers. So really, it's just kind of like, what did you gain? You got Emmanuel Claus on a PED suspension, and you really hope this guy pans out, and I think he will. Obviously, all positivity. Cleveland's a pitching factory, and they know what to do. They do the thing. But yeah, that's funny. I looked at the tweet and I was like, oh my god, that's such a good Photoshop. I was like, I forgot he played with him, and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, Delino DeShields back to Texas on a minor league deal. It's not like he might come up. I don't know if he's gonna make a big impact or anything, but LOL Cleveland. Alright, I think the last bit of news I have to touch on was the MLBPA rejected a 154 game proposal, and the proposal would have delayed spring training by a month. It was 154 games and would have had the expanded playoffs and the universal DH. But the union didn't like the expanded playoffs, and I don't either. The three game series wild card things didn't work. It was a mess. It was so much baseball. It was so overwhelming. You can't focus on so many games, especially when like 3 of them are going on at the same time, and it's like you have a great situation here, but you can't really consume 3 games of baseball all at once. And also just no one wants to see bad teams, no offense, in the postseason, and I don't want to throw anyone out there specifically, but like the Brewers, man, especially without Devin Williams, it was, I don't know, I am a Dodgers fan, but like I can't say I had too much fun watching the games. I mean, it was just kind of, we did what we had to do. It was just players taking care of business. But the expanded playoffs is just because owners are trying to make money for the money that they lost in 2020, because obviously they want fans in the stands by playoffs time, because vaccination rollouts happening, and it's accelerating. So they're trying to get fans back in the stand as soon as possible. That's why they're trying to delay spring training. And it's all for money, and like I get that, but also it's livelihood. These are these players' livelihood, so they need to get their money as soon as possible. And I hope that fans do come back as soon as possible too, because I would just love to be back at a baseball game. It was also rejected because players believed that Rob Manfred would have had too much powers with the schedule, like canceling games due to COVID, canceling games last minute, which we did see some of last season. And we saw some teams decimated because of it, like the Marlins and the Cardinals. And I think like the players, like I don't think Rob Manfred should have too much influence in the schedule. This is the second go around for the MLB, and they did have other sports have been doing it, like they've been doing in market sports. So now you have the blueprint. You did it last year, so there should be no fumbling this year, but we have to deal with labor negotiations. And it's kind of just about using universal DH and expanded playoffs as a bargaining chip, because you don't want to lose leverage in the upcoming negotiations for the CBA at the end of the year. And it's just kind of, playing with people's money. It's just about money. And it's something that I'm learning a lot more about myself. I said I wasn't qualified to talk about labor. I'm working on that. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about the proposal. I hope we can get something done as soon as possible. I think that's all I have to say, so if you liked it, leave a like. 643.